there. Just wanted to do an interview and talk baseball.
Thank you.
I hope you don't mind. I'll ask you about. You're from New York, sorry.
Yes, I am.
About your rooting for the Mets,
Mm-hmm.
or the Dodgers. I know you root for anyone that's yeah, the Yankees.
Well, if they play the Red Sox, I mean.
Okay. So yeah, want to talk baseball. I know that you're involved in some charitable.
Yes,
stuff.
yes, yeah.
We'll talk about that as well.
Yes.
And what your plans are helping the sport through.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I honestly believe it's going to get very, very big in the near future.
Okay, that's one.
And I know there's been talk about Philippines participating in the World Baseball
Mhm.
Classic. Having guys like Tim Lincecum come play for the Philippines.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to push through.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you. I decided to have a Boston cap just because of what happened in Boston last week. It's too quick to get a Boston T-shirt, and I'm wearing a Pirates T-shirt because of Roberto Clemente.
Right.
And his name is on the back, and obviously he was not only a great player but a great humanitarian.
Yes,
He died trying to save people's lives, and Jackie Robinson, because he was one of the most important Americans we've had, and we just have a new movie out about his life.
42, right?
42.
42, I'm waiting for that.
42. I hope it comes in the middle.
If not, I'm going to buy the DVD, that's
That's
for sure.
right. That's the way.
We'll tape it.
Yeah. Yes, let's go.
Tell me when you're ready for that.
We're only.
Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time to talk baseball
Yeah.
with me. And I understand you're a huge baseball fan. Were you always a baseball fan growing up in New York?
Yes, the first game I ever saw was when I was 6 years old, and my father took me to see the New York Mets play the Dodgers at the old Polo Grounds when
Wow.
the Dodgers came back from Los Angeles. And in those days, for most boys growing up, baseball was the first sport they played.
Definitely.
So I loved it. It's my passion.
You ever play street ball?
Yes, we played. I lived out in Queens, and we played regular baseball on baseball fields. But most days we played stickball,
Right.
where you hit the ball with a bat or with a stick, and we go to the schoolyards and play with a stick, where you would hit either the ball was going to the wall or on one bounce. Willie Mays used to play stickball with kids in New York.
Wow,
you
that's so
know?
cool.
That is so. Yeah, it was fun.
Mr. Ambassador, your love for the game obviously is tremendous. Do you ever think about becoming a professional baseball player? And if you did for a while think about it, were you inspired by Jackie Robinson or anyone?
I always thought about becoming a professional baseball player, but I was limited by talent and lack of talent. So I had to focus on academics, but I love baseball. Wish I had played third base for the New York Mets, but that was not intended. And yes, Jack Roosevelt Robinson was an inspiration to me, to my family, to all Americans. Not only was he a great baseball player, a better football player, the most unconquerable man I've ever encountered, and he died at age 53. It took a lot of grief to play and to survive, and I'm so pleased that his new movie 42 is about him.
Right.
If you come to my house here in Forbes Park, I have 3 posters of Jackie Robinson up.
Oh, that's nice.
And the one thing I didn't, our former person who worked here sent me a black and white photo of Jackie Robinson when he played with the Montreal Alouettes that she found in Montreal.
Wow.
But I haven't put that up. I think 3 is sufficient.
Right. For those who are watching, you might be surprised that the ambassador is wearing a Dodgers jersey, but he's also got a Boston Red Sox cap on his knee. Ambassador, you want to tell everyone what
Yes.
significance of the cap is?
Again, thanks to the Filipino people and President Aquino for your condolences over our tragedy in Boston. But New Yorkers in Boston really go at it over sports.
Right.
But I want to show that sports is trivial when it comes to life, and we're all, as the new phrase is, Boston strong at this time. And I went to school near Boston and have so many friends who participate in the marathon. I remember that as a school holiday when people handed out water, and as Patriot Day when our war against the British started, our revolution. So for it to be violated in this heinous manner
Definitely.
is inexcusable. So I just want to show that we are all for Boston. And again, thank you so much to all the Filipino people for the messages of condolence and care. And so many Filipino Americans
Right.
live in the Boston community, have gone to school
Right.
in that community, including your president and his family. So I know they feel that also.
There you have it, Boston Strong, coming from the ambassador himself. Mr. Ambassador, why not the Yankees? Why the Mets? I just have to bring it up. I know I'm wearing
No,
this.
I grew up in Queens, and the Mets were from Queens.
Right,
And you rooted for teams from your neighborhood.
definitely.
And the Yankees were from the Bronx. And the Yankees were old. The Mets were young and new. And the Yankees stood for corporations, and the Mets were, I grew up in blue collar area. So the Mets were the young folks, but also the blue collar, the team of the people. Their colors were New York City colors. Also, the Yankees, along with the Red Sox, have been the two last teams to integrate, where the Dodgers had been the first.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
so those things carried from my parents, that's for sure.
Right. Sports has always been a part of your personality and who you are. Being an ambassador of the United States to the Philippines, I know that you've introduced some baseball programs here in the Philippines. Would you like to tell us more about it?
Well, thank you. We've worked very closely with Filipinos who had already started this. The JCs,
Right.
the mayor of Manila, Mayor Lim, and others who built the Field of Dreams in Tondo. And we supported the Smoky Mountain team, but also we've supported teams in other areas. This year we donated equipment thanks to our colleague Joel Ehrenreich and
Right.
his colleagues and former colleagues in Singapore to kids in Tacloban. And in the past we brought the great Ken Griffey Jr., future Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
here. And this July 4th, as we've done every July 4th, we will give away equipment to boys and girls. And one of the things I'm most proud of is the young women that went to Kalamazoo last year. The softball team won the championship,
Amazing.
and we were able to host them.
Oh, that's great.
Last
terrific.
night I had dinner with a friend of mine, an American who lives here, and he showed me his baseballs autographed by Cy Young and Connie Mack.
Wow.
And all those things. It was great. So we for me, I love baseball, but the point is we want to see children, no matter where they're from, outside, enjoying sports. Sports teaches you so much, but just getting in the air, running around, that is important for children. We're doing it through baseball, but any vehicle that they use, whether it's swimming, running, rowing, anything. And for poor kids, they usually don't have access to these things. It's basketball or boxing or things like that. So to introduce them to baseball with the support of Filipinos who are already doing it is wonderful. And last year, Filipino Americans from San Francisco donated a lot of equipment. And my college schoolmate, Jose Cabarrus, his semi-pro team support that baseball. So we're looking forward to it.
Mr. Ambassador, have you heard of Tanawan, Batangas?
Sure, yeah.
They've got a thriving baseball
Yes,
community
yes,
over
yes.
there. Baseball is one of those legacies that the Americans have brought to
Sure, yeah.
Filipinos. And what do you think? Do you think that sport has a chance to grow here in the Philippines?
Oh, sure. We just have to reintroduce it. As you said, there are parts of Batangas, parts of Mindanao,
Definitely.
and Negros where baseball is still played. And look, I like basketball. I love other sports too. Just want to give kids a chance to see if they like it. Not just baseball, but softball. And this is something that gives young girls and women also an opportunity. Because one of the great things we've seen in Tondo is these young girls who've played on softball teams. Some of them have been able to get softball scholarships to San Beda, gone off, graduated, gotten jobs, and moved their parents out of Smoky Mountain area. So those are our goals, to help kids improve their lives, and we think that baseball is one of those vehicles.
As a kid, is there anything, something like an anecdote that you can share from your childhood about the sport that you love very much? That's something that you can would be a feel-good story for Filipinos here, and why it's been good for you.
Well, I think for me, the magical year was 1969 when the New York Mets won the first championship and I was a little boy. That was just pure joy. And then, obviously, as a Mets fan, to see Benny Agbayani,
Yeah.
who was a Filipino American, do very well for our Mets, that was a really, really good story. But I'm also wearing a T-shirt of Roberto Clemente of the Pirates,
You want to show it, Mr.
who had 3,000 hits
Right.
exactly. Um, he was from Puerto Rico,
Yes, Puerto Rico.
and he died on New Year's Eve when the plane crashed leaving from Puerto Rico to take food and other relief items to Nicaraguan and El Salvadorian earthquake victims. So he was a great baseball player with a rocket arm. I don't know whether his arm was better than Willie Mays or not, but he died as a humanitarian. Um, but I have so many baseball memories, just watching Willie Mays, the greatest player I ever saw, climb the walls and catch baseballs.
Yes.
And when he came to the New York Mets, I was sitting there with my brother-in-law, and he hit a home run, and I was trying to scream. We were upstairs in my house, and I was so excited the screaming didn't come out. And I was saddened today because I saw that Willie Mays' wife passed away, and after 16 years of Alzheimer's. And she was a scholar. She was an athlete and a scholar. She had a master's degree, and I was been battling that for 16 years. So it was a reminder to me that no matter how great your life is, no matter how wonderful you are at sports or other pursuits, that life intervenes.
Right.
And for 16 years, he had to care for his wife. They've been married 41 years.
That's true love, I guess.
It is. And those are things we forget. His birthday's coming up May 6th. My best friend in the world shares his birthday at May 6th, and he's a big Willie Mays fan. And for me, I also have my mom, like everybody else's mom, kept me from being a millionaire because we collected baseball cards, and my mom threw away all my baseball cards.
Oh.
And there was a time when those were very wealthy, worth a lot of money, and my nephew found 2 cards and my mom didn't throw away, and they were a Roberto Clemente and a Hank Aaron card.
You
And
still have them?
I have them up in my house in
That's great.
Manila, but the Nolan Ryan rookie card, and that was worth, been worth a couple of $100,000, is the reason my mother kept me from being wealthy, and I want Nanai to know that. I have to work because of you, Nanai. But that was common for all of us, and so it's a great memory.
Your boyhood idols, Roberto Clemente, as well as Jackie Robinson.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything about them that is you brought over into your job as an ambassador? Something that's inspired you, and something you bring into your work every day as an ambassador?
Well, I loved my favorite player as a kid. 2 favorite players were Tom Seaver of the Mets.
Tom Seaver, yes.
And Hank Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And my father looked like Hank Aaron, so I like that. But Tom Seaver was #1 always in my heart. But what I learned from all of them is hard work and fair play. And in baseball, you're not going to win every day. So life will knock you down, and you have to come back. Like the great Yankee reliever Mariano Rivera, you come back. And these were people when the game was our national pastime, and we all looked up to them. And Jackie Robinson never disappointed in his personal or professional life, and neither did Roberto Clemente or Tom Seaver or Hank Aaron. And I just look at Hank Aaron now. He's a multi-millionaire, and he's giving money to schools in the Atlanta area to keep art and music programs. Kids need beauty in their lives, and so they are all doing these things to help the less fortunate. They never gave up. So those are the things that I remember. Teamwork. In our embassy, we have a team.
Right.
Our not a baseball team, but our embassy is a team.
Okay.
And our motto is one mission, one team. which our employees came up with. And we think of ourselves as a team, and we need to help each other, and everyone makes things happen in our embassy. Whether you're the sweeper, or the commercial counselor, or a public affairs officer, we need equal participation from everybody, and that's what I've learned from baseball and other sports.
Right. Sports is one of the biggest legacies the Americans have brought over to the
Yes.
Philippines. When you hold your meetings here in the Yankees, do you ever start off the meetings with sports stuff, baseball stuff? Do you ever check the Nets
I
and-
think too often for some of our teammates.
Does it get a little tense, like people like jaw with one another?
Oh, we tease each other
Oh,
because
okay.
we have
All
some
right.
big baseball fans and we have some non-sports fans. We talk about sports a lot. It's an icebreaker, and it's a lot of fun for me and those of us who like sports.
Mr. Ambassador, we also see you in a lot of functions. Also, like we also see at the UAP games.
Yes.
What is it about college basketball here that you like? We don't see you at the PBA. Am I right?
Well, I've gone to several PBA games. Like to see James Yap play. Obviously, Chris Tu and Tony De La Cruz. They're good. Gabriel from George Mason University. My God. So I've gone to PBA. There's something special about college games, especially Ateneo. You know, I have Jesuit education. I have 2 Jesuit degrees. So the first person I ever called on was Father Ben Nebres, and he was first person. Instruction from the Jesuits at Holy Cross to go see him. And so I feel akin to that. I was a good friend with Norman Black. What a great career. 5 Pete. Now he's in the PBA. So I very much like it. Saddened that we lost my very good friend Bobby Parks.
Right.
7-time
Best import.
import. And I think that, as Norman said, when Bobby and he came, they were conscious of Americans. They need to behave themselves, to respect, to be part of Filipino culture. They married Filipinas. They were very respectful, and whenever we get people who are not, that pains us, and they should be dealt with, because it's part of sports is showing respect, and you cannot be arrogant. But love to see the De La Salle Ateneo games. I'm glad that Ateneo almost always wins. But so that's why it's just college sports a little more innocent.
Right. We're down to our last few minutes,
Yes.
Mr. Ambassador. Do you have any sports projects coming up for the Philippines?
Well, again, yes, July 4th, Philippine American Friendship Week, we will be doing our annual donation. At the same time, later this year, when we do another iteration of our America in 3D, Defense, Diplomacy, and Development, our road show, we will again participate in sports. We work with closely with the PBA at that time. They do clinics. We usually do baseball clinics, but we've also done soccer clinics, and whatever is appropriate for that area, we'll do that. We're going to have a fundraiser for some abused women and children, and we're going to have Manny Pacquiao has donated gloves once again
That's
to
nice.
that. We are always grateful that the champion helps us in that. So those are some of the things we're doing, and I'll be dropping by an NBA event this weekend.
Right.
Muggsy Bogues is in town.
Muggsy Bogues is in town,
I
yes.
finally get to be taller than an NBA player. So we'll do that, but we integrate everything into what we're doing, and sports is just one part of it. Music is another part where we support jazz and other forms. My very, very good friend Giovanni Emmanuel Cruz is a classical pianist, one of the great pianists of the Philippines. Unfortunately, he's a Yankees fan.
But he's from Ateneo.
He is from Ateneo. So we spend a lot of time kidding each other, but you learn a lot through those interactions.
Right, there you have it, the ambassador, Mr. Harry Thomas. We're talking baseball. Hopefully next time we'll break down some games and the rivalry between the Mets and the Yankees, as well as the Red Sox and other baseball stuff. Thank you. Have a good day.
Maraming
sir.
salamat. Thank you
Maraming
so
salamat.
much. Thank you so much.
So cool, so cool.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
maybe ask for a picture, sir.
Sure.
Okay.
Here, Rick.
Oh, do you want to do one back here, or is that too back?
This is okay.
That's okay.
John is our classmate.
He's our batchmate.
He's our batchmate.
Wow.
I grew up with him.
He's a good guy. He's a really close friend. He and Tinky and their baby, really good people.
Oh, Mr. Ambassador, my day job's with Pepsi Cola.
Mhm.
Gatorade is my particular brand. If you need support for your activities,
Oh,
just let me
great.
know.
Thank you.
I'll leave my card in this.
Yeah, we will. You can look for July 4th. That's a wonderful thing. I like the Pepsi ad when President